So I want to make this video just to show you guys that for once in my life, I was right about something. I feel like this was pretty obvious to be right on, but I wanted to give myself a little bit of credit here because Prismatic Evolutions, I think we all know, we're seeing here live that it's going up in price. I think this was to be expected. Prismatic Evolutions ETBs are now $130, which doesn't sound all too crazy maybe because they did peak at one point at 150, but if you look at what's been happening here in the past month, they've rebounded like crazy and very quickly. And I've talked about this for a long time, and I just wanted to show you guys some evidence that I was saying this the whole time, just to give myself, a little bit of credit here. That during this whole time I was telling you guys, Prismatic Evolutions, it's cheap, it's gonna go up, and everybody laughing at prices dipping. You're not gonna be laughing in a month later, and just a few weeks later. I mean, prices are already back up and even higher than what they were at release. That's how quick it was, and you got to think about how many scalpers there were. Remember when I made those videos on the release day of Prismatic? I had my own experience seeing the scalpers and stuff. I went to go experience everything. I didn't get a single product, but I saw it in real time, all the scalpers. So it was sort of interesting to see it, and we saw so many videos online, people lining up outside Walmarts, Targets, GameStops, all these stores to get Prismatic. And you know what? It was kind of crazy, right? And it was so bad to the point where Elite Trainer boxes did go to $100. It did get that bad, where there was just that much people just scalping and flipping, and not all scalpers. I guess you can call people online buying and pre-ordering also scalpers too. But there was just a ton of people dumping Prismatic Evolutions, which in my opinion, I'm like, okay, unless you're on credit cards that you can't pay off the balance or whatever, and you're just using it, just to buy, this product to flip, you should not be selling. It was literally so dumb, like how cheap it got. Obviously, we didn't really know how prices were going to stabilize with the cards because yes, out the gate, honestly, I think the Umbreon was only like a 1,300 out the gate, and now it's like 1,600, so it's actually gone up. But yeah, I would understand. I guess some people maybe are scared that prices of the products were to continue to drop, and maybe the singles would drop. But for me, I'm like, okay, this is so normal. This happened with Surging Sparks on a smaller scale. It was going to go back up. This is just a quick, kind of dip in the market because of all the supply. And what happened? It quickly went up. So yeah, I mean, it's quickly rebounded. This was expected. I've been saying it the whole time. And like I said, I want to give myself a little bit of credit here that I have been saying this whole time. So we're just going to go back to some of my videos. I literally talk about Prismatic Evolutions every few days now, just because I like talking about this set, because obviously it's interesting. I'm pretty heavily invested into it, that's all I'm going to say. And prices have been rebounding. So 3 weeks ago, which seems not long ago, but I mean Prismatic Evolutions was released pretty much like a month ago. I said Prismatic Evolutions is not expensive. This was when Elite Trainer boxes were $118. You continue on, I keep saying it. A little bit after that, I said this is the worst time to sell. I mean, it was, and yeah, now they're now $130. You don't understand this about Prismatic Evolutions. I was explaining why the prices dropped because a lot of people did not understand why they were dropping. Everyone was laughing. All the collecting people that hate all the scalpers of prices and complain about everything. They were laughing, and I was trying to make this video to explain to people this is normal. This was expected. And in the video after that, I said the Prismatic Evolutions price crash is crazy because I'm pretty sure this was the day before or after all the prices crashed to $100 that one day. And I said it was crazy because the prices of the cards, even at this time, you can see here, look at the price of the cards. Look at the prices of what these cards are now. It's pretty similar. I mean, some of these have changed, but I mean, the set value 2 weeks ago versus now, it's very similar. So that's why I said it was crazy. How is it possible that an Elite Trainer box, and at this point, I remember going on eBay, you could buy them for $100. How is it possible that we have a new set? Yes, it's a new set, but it's a set that has cards this expensive. Look at the set value. It doesn't make sense. Why is it $100? Some people say, oh, it's new. It shouldn't even be this expensive anyways. Oh, this is what was going to happen anyways. But I was like, there's no way, right? I mean, it's too cheap to have cars that's expensive. And I mean, prices have gone up, obviously. So, like I said, I just want to give myself a little bit of credit for talking about it because it was kind of crazy. I know some of you guys have told me you actually did buy when they dropped. And if you weren't able to pick them up, I think some people are actually selling in the 90s at one point. If you were able to pick these up during that time when prices dropped to 90 to $100, I mean, think about it this way: you're up like 30% if you bought it at $100. I mean, it's at 130, you're up 30%. So I mean, you're already, and that's in a couple weeks. So like I said, it was super cheap. It was an opportunity. But in these videos, I really try to not push an agenda of buying, because you guys say, you guys have been saying, be yourself. You're saying prismatic evolutions, don't invest into it, but why are you doing it yourself? Well, guess what, guys? If I were to tell you on my channel that you should be buying, and I'm recommending you buy Prismatic and invest into it right now, you know how many people would say I'm crazy? That's why I'm not recommending it, right? I know a lot of investors, all these people, they say Prismatic is too expensive, too risky. That's why I'm not telling you guys to do it, because I would sound crazy. And I don't want you guys to be buying at these prices, and if something does go wrong somehow, that I don't want to be liable for that, right? So just to keep things, I guess, kind of calm and not push anything crazy out there, I'm not telling you guys to buy it. I mean, you can obviously do whatever you want, but I'm not highly recommending you buy at these prices, because so many people would criticize me if I said that. But for me, I've spent, I don't even want to talk about it, but I've spent so much on Prismatic recently. It's honestly not even funny, right? I feel like at this point I could build like a mini house with how much I've been. It's honestly, it's an amount where I don't even want to talk about it, because I probably will look crazy. But yes, I have been still investing, but I'm not recommending it, because the general consensus is that Prismatic Evolutions is overpriced. That's the general consensus. But like I've told you guys, I'm doing the opposite of what everyone else is doing, because I do feel like this is one of those things where everybody's saying a big reprint's going to happen and all these sorts of things. And I feel like, I mean, I don't know. I'm just one of those people that doesn't really believe a huge crash is going to happen with this set, because I feel like the set is way too valuable. Cards would really have to see some crazy drops for the product prices to really see any crazy drops too. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I'm not here to recommend buying Prismatic, but that's why I'm just buying it myself. I'm just doing, I guess the dumb thing is buying Prismatic when prices are like, what do you want to say, double MSRP, whatever it is. Yes, I am buying it, and I'll continue to do it. But yeah, I'm just not recommending it, because like I said, people will go crazy on me. So another product I have to give myself some credit on is the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes. Now these, I told you, I made a video, which I'm going to show you here after, just to give some evidence. I said, you know what? They dropped on release day to the low 200s. I said, you know what? We didn't get a restock yet, and even after, a few weeks after and no restock, even if they did restock it, whatever day, the chances of you getting it is so slim. The day it dropped, the day Prismatic Evolutions was released, these went all the way down to the mid 200s, and you could buy some for the low 200s on eBay. And I said, you know what? Chances are you're probably not going to get it. You're just probably not. It's just the truth, right? So I said, you know what? I sound crazy, but I think it's not that expensive, and I think it's not a bad buy. And I compared it to 151 ETBs. I'm like, okay, 151, it's this expensive. You don't think Prismatic Evolutions can go up to that price? Like, you really don't? And, I got a lot of, some criticism. I mean, if you read the comments, I don't know who's saying, what. But I said, I don't think it's that expensive. Look at where it's at now. It's at $330. And how old is this video? Like about a month old. So you would have been up like $80 in about a month. Percentage wise, what is that? Like 30 something percent. And that restock, I don't know when it's coming. It's probably going to come at some point, but it's like a whole month. It's kind of weird they haven't dropped it yet. I've told you guys this before. Investment wise right now, it is a little bit harder because it has gone up from low 200s to now low 300s. So it is a little bit of a harder buy. So I say it this way. I wouldn't say it's the best investment right now. I mean, it's going to go up, but it's not the best thing right now. But if you want one for your collection, I'd honestly just, for me, I would just buy. If I want one for my collection, I'm just buying one, right? But investment wise, it is a little bit harder because it is pretty expensive now. I mean, 151 PC ETBs are now like 380. So these are creeping up close to 151 now. So it's a little bit hard to say this is a good investment, but it is one of those things where it's like it's the same concept. You're probably not going to catch the drop, especially with this new Q system or whatever. I mean, it's really hard to say not to buy it and also to say to buy it. It's a really tough thing because it is expensive, but you're probably not going to catch the drop. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But I do want to give myself a little bit of credit for calling this out. And yeah. So lastly, I just wanted to show you guys this. The surprise boxes. These did drop to like $60 when they, I guess, crashed a little bit or corrected, whatever you want to call it. But they're going back up to $70 already. The promos in here, other than the Umbreon, I think are around 25 to $30. The Umbreon is, I think, $80 still. So, my opinion on these, I've talked about it before. I think surprise boxes are going to be a pretty sought after product in the future, just because it's a very unique product. I mean, I can't think of a product that has like a mystery element to it. Like, I can't think of a product in the past that's like a mainstream like Pokemon like product that's had this sort of element. And being Prismatic Evolutions, it's an EV set, and we all know how stamped promos are now. I think this is going to be pretty exclusive in the future. And honestly, in my opinion, I feel like if you can get these in the $50 to $60 range, I know I don't want to even recommend it, right? Because I mean, if you think about it, it's like 2.5 times MSRP, right? I know it sounds crazy, but I feel like it's not that bad. Because if you think about it, pack price right now, what is it? $12. There's 4 packs, that's $48. The promo's worth $25 to $30, but if you get the Umbreon, it's worth $80. So if you do just some logic, some math here, I think if you can get it around 60, even 60, I feel like it's not that bad. I know it sounds crazy, and I don't even like talking about recommending buying Prismatic because I'm doing it myself. I'm being dumb. I don't want to recommend it, but I still think some of these. I mean, you can get them at a little bit under market. I feel like it's not a bad buy. But hey, I'm crazy. Don't follow my advice. I'm doing it myself. I'll be holding the biggest bag, whatever, if this thing gets printed in the ground. But if it doesn't, I guess I'll be happy. But yeah, that's all I want to talk about Prismatic. How just, I guess I was kind of right for once in my life, right? And I kind of called this out, but I feel like it was obvious. Like, I don't think you need to be a rocket scientist, right, to figure out that this was going to happen to the prices of Prismatic. Like, they were going to go up. Like, I think it was kind of obvious, but I know people were sort of emotional about prices, and I understand. But if you think about the logic about this set, and you think about the prices and how much they dropped, I mean, buying on that dip was a smart idea in my opinion. I talked about it, but I didn't want to recommend it. But now prices have gone up. And, I do continue to think that they'll go up. I think even right now, ETB's at 130. Honestly, I sound crazy, but I think they're still underpriced. I think they will continue to go up, and time will just tell to see if I'm right about this or not. And we'll see if we get this big reprint, because I'm not thinking it's going to do much. And maybe I'll make a whole separate video talking about reprints, everything like that. But yeah, that's what I want to talk about. I know I talk about Prismatic so much, but I just have a lot to talk about it. So let's end this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.